So I'm currently walking through Church Street. You know how they say like the scholars in Islam will recognise Imam Mahdi and all that, and it's like there's actual hadith out like Imam Mahdi will be walking through the markets and no one recognise him, right? No, there's actual. I walk past Muslims all the time. I'm not going to touch. I literally walk side by side with Muslims, and like you have to crawl over ice and snow to follow the Imam Mahdi. Like it's an order from your Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to crawl over face first on snow to like follow the Mahdi, and it's like. I'm walking like right next to you, like walking quicker than Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and you just don't recognise me. That's how far like Muslims have fallen. It's like, like we're in England, like we're in England Church Street, and it's like you've got halal meat markets, you've got like halal meat markets, and it's just like, like Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam didn't like Saudi Arabia. Like if Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was alive in this era, he'd want to live in like, like 1993, and like when Michael Jackson was in his prime, and like Friends, and like like the early to mid 90s, like like In Living Colour and like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and like Then My Wife and Kid, like how England and America was about 30 years ago. That's what Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would have wanted it to live like. And like like look, see how like I don't want to film too much like Muslims, actual Muslims, like in order to crawl over snow. So like like them ordered by their Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to crawl over snow face first on ice to follow the man who's like literally walking side by side. I'm literally like walking next to him, and it's like they just don't recognise me. And like Jesus, he was like, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what happened. Right, with the whole Jesus return, I was on a tram. I got off the tram at East Croydon Station. There was like some Christians holding a sign up, "Oh, Jesus saved me from hellfire." So I was thinking like, "Oh, am I a Muslim or a Christian?" I watched like, like all religions are wrong. Judaism is wrong, Christianity is wrong, Islam is wrong. It's all wrong. But it's one practice religion of common sense and like using your brain is actually right. And it's like, what actually happened was I was like, after seeing that sign in East Croydon Station, I walked through George Street and then Church Street, and I was feeling a bit funny. I felt a bit like lightheaded and all that. I was feeling a bit like spiritually awake and all that, and then I was walking down here. Hang on. I actually walked. I'm not filming you, mate. I'm not filming you. I was walking around there, and like Jesus returned. I saw in the clouds. Like it was sort of. It was over there somewhere. Like I saw like in the clouds. Like in the clouds. There was like two angels, and then like a vision of like an actual image of Jesus. And then as I got to the top, you've seen my hill. As I got to the top of like Ravenswood Road, I felt completely like I sort of like went, oh my God, like I felt completely born again, because like the actual spirit of Jesus descended into my body. And I see, is that a Muslim in front of me? Like that man there, and like every like 2 billion Muslims in the world, by their Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to crawl over face first on ice to follow the man that's literally walking right behind you in Croydon. Like, look, it's got like he's a Muslim, isn't he? So it's like man behind you. Look, should I just show you how like the Imam Mahdi just not being recognised? Look, it's how he's walking slow and like ambling along. Like Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Look, I'm going to walk like right next to him. Like you've been ordered by Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So like crawl face first on snow to follow me, and it's like, look, I'm just sorry mate. Hello, Mahdi's on right next to you. Hello. Do you know what I mean? It's like this morning, like in Church Street, which is actually England, supposed to be like English culture. Like Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would have loved English culture 30 or 40 years ago. There was just tons of Muslims in like being all arrogant and like laughing and thinking they're taking over, and like walking through England, and we're like in our turbans and all in our long thobes and all that, trying to take over. Literally the actual Imam Mahdi, who's actually better than Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I've got like no companions. You're supposed to like, I'm walking through Croydon. You literally saw me like walk next to a Muslim, and they just don't recognise me. Like I was walking through about 3 months ago. I was walking, not running. I was walking forward leaning, like much faster than Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I was doing like a perfect goal swing. I was dressed in like an all white attire, like Angel Jibril in a thing of a man, how he dressed. And I was like, look, I had the sign, so look, I'm in ready, like, ew, go away. No, you're not. You're supposed to be an Arabian dickhead in Mecca with your AK-47 and killing people. How about like don't be a dickhead? How about I reiterate, my ancestors moved away from Saudi Arabia to move to get some freedom. Like I'm pretty sure in like the year 1200, like my ancestors lived in like Italy, and then like they moved and they thought, well, Italy's still not freedom enough. Then they moved to like Germany and they thought, well, this is still not freedom enough. Then they moved to England. You know that country, and like Britain, that Tommy Robinson is trying to save, who's actually my number one companion. The Imam Mehdi, who's like the Islamic saviour, is like his number one companion is Tommy Robinson. You know that England is like it's a bastion for like freedom. It's like freedom and like expression, and like the Muslims who like worship Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it's like the man that your Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told to crawl face first on snow and ice. You have to follow him. He's the Khalifa of Allah. It's actually like with the side of the English people. So it's kind of like you know, like your whole religion of Islam for 49 years is going to be completely shut down for good. And it's like you know, do you think Allah wants you to be like a weak Arabian dickhead, like using taqiyya and lying and deceiving and like not trying to practice golf swing and like, do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah. So I was walking up here. I'm currently like a Muslim. Like, hang on. I don't want to draw too much attention to myself. Look, you know, like you're supposed to like crawl face first on snow. Like if you're in Canada, or if you're in like Norway, if you're like a Muslim in like Sweden who's like being a dickhead, trying to kill the Swedish people and like be a dickhead, you're literally been ordered by your Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to crawl face first on ice to follow this man called Philip John Platts, who's like the position of the moon. The actual moon is, I've got video proof, like 3 videos proof that the actual the orbit and the movement of the actual moon in the sky is like being dictated by this guy who's walking through Church Street where it isn't England anymore. And it's like, you know how like Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't like Saudi Arabia. He wanted to, like, if there was such thing, I'll tell you something, yeah. If there was airplanes and airports in the 600s, Muhammad would have taken the first class ticket all the way to Canada and moved fucked off out of there. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if there was such thing as aeroplanes in the 600s, Muhammad would have been like saving up his money, and I got a first class ticket, like one-way ticket all the way to Canada, and be like be done with Saudi Arabia. So it's like everything the prophets have talked about is actually the polar opposite. Do you know what I mean? It's like the world's not going to end. It's like Little Planet, Sonic CD, like there's like Japanese culture and there's like South Korean culture, and it's not just like the whole world is dictated by Middle Eastern Arabian dickheads. So like walking up here, it was like May the 4th 2025. I promise you, I absolutely promise you, yeah, it was like May the 4th 2025. I was coming up here after seeing that sign saying, oh, like Jesus saved me from hellfire. So I was thinking, like, what is the actual truth? Like, you know, like no one is right. For the past, like, since the time of Adam, like, no one's been right. The only people, Adam and Eve, and then people diverted. And then, like, the only person who's actually right is Philip John Platts. So, like, I came over here, I turned around the corner, then in the sky over there, it was, like, very cloudy. And I saw, like, 2 angels in the clouds, like, a vision of 2 angels in the clouds. And, like, the Spirit of Jesus, like, descending into my body. And then I was walking home from, like, here, like, going, oh, my God, I feel, like, born again. And then it's, like... yeah, so like, you know, like the whole like Jesus returning in like Jerusalem, it's actually like a big trick. It's like the Spirit of Jesus. I promise you 100%, I'm not lying, I've got the Spirit of Jesus in me. In there in the clouds, you know, like, do you know why he came back here? Because the Imam Mehdi lives around here, and that school's actually a lovely school. It's like another nice community, it's like a lovely community, English feel around here. You know, like, I'm actually in a part of Croydon that still feels like England. You know, like if you go like 10 minutes, literally 10 minutes down there, it's like Arab culture and like dickheads starting fights and trying to take over England. Like West Croydon and like Fulton Heath is absolutely dire, and Norbury is all like fucking dickheads. I mean, not all of them. I'm just saying, like, do you think Allah wants you to be like an Arab dickhead and like taking over like a British culture? Like, what about the British history? What about the history of Britain? Like all those people that fought for their country, you're just going to come in the next 30 years and be like an Arab dickhead and ruin their culture and like be a dickhead. So like, he was like up there, and then I sort of like walked home. How am I going to film these people? Yeah. Yeah, so like you visibly saw, like, I'm walking like side by side with Muslims, walking quicker than Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I fit all the descriptions of the Imam Mehdi, yet they just don't recognise me. And then like, I've even tried to say, look, I'm Imam Mehdi, and they're like trying to like be aggressive and like say, no you're not, no you're not, no you're not. So like the actual Imam Mehdi, who's been like prophesied as like the saviour of humanity, and it's like your prophet that you constantly saying like 5 prayers and all during Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, your prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would have loved England and like Japan, and Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would have loved to have gone to Japan or like Canada, or, do you know what I mean? I reiterate, if there was like aeroplanes back in the 600s, in like the year, like, as soon as he turned like 18 or 20, he would have got like a first class ticket to like Canada or Japan and be fucked off out of there. And it's like, so like Imam Mehdi and like it's going to be like Arabian culture and Islam and like 7 years of peace. It's all just like, it's like why did you throw Abraham into the fire? Why did you like, you know, like throw Joseph in prison? Why aren't you listening to the prophets? Like, it's not just Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, it's all the prophets who have been trying to tell you don't be a peasant dickhead and actually worship God. And like they've just been treated like the worst. Like I've been treated badly. You show me, like I've been trying to, like they tried to throw me in prison. I've been in mental health hospital 5 times. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like I'm like, you know, like I've got like, instead of an AK-47, I've got like a nice Coke Zero from Burger King. Because like Burger King in Church Street still kind of feels like England, even though it's like American. It still feels a bit like a Western culture, even though like most of like Church just turn into Arabian like peasantry, shitty like halal meat markets and all that. So like you know like man who was just, you know, that man who's an English guy called Philip John Platts, who's like, you've been ordered by your Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to crawl face first on snow, like from all over the world. If you live in like Norway or like the Middle East or like South Africa, you've been ordered by your Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So I've got leverage, haven't I? I've got the spirit of Jesus in me. I'm Imam Mehdi, and your prophet that you worship has ordered you to crawl face first over snow to follow me. So everything, I'm literally, every word I'm saying, I'm speaking from the heart. I'm being like Tommy Robinson. I'm actually speaking facts. So if Tommy Robinson since 2009 has been telling the truth. So you throw Tommy Robinson in prison for telling the truth. It's like in this day and age, you're not allowed to speak the truth. Like you have to be a dickhead. Do you know what I mean? So hang on. Just to like lighten the mood a little bit, I'm gonna like do crawl face first on snow to follow me. Philip John Platts, the Imam Mehdi. But see the mole and the scar and like the big forehead, and it's like eyebrows, and it's like I'm perfectly the Imam Mehdi, like big belly, wide legs and all that. And I can do like most things that like no one in the world can do. Crawl face first, you know, like you Muslims, and like not just the Muslims, like everyone on earth has been ordered to crawl face first on snow and follow me. I don't want you to crawl face first on snow. I just want you to practice your goal swing and like stop being a dickhead. That's the last time I'm going to say dickhead. I'm sorry for saying dickhead, but it's true. Because I've seen how like England has completely changed. Like when I was in Oval Primary School, they weren't talking about England. They were talking about multiculturalism and Islam and like Arab culture. As like an England guy in like 1997 to 2003 in Oval Primary School, they weren't talking about England and like English culture and like my ancestors in England. They were just talking about Islam and like multiculturalism and diversity is our strength. And like it's actually just like diversity is our weakness, because it's like everyone just disagrees on everything. So like